Clicker's not working now. You're good. Is that gonna work? Perfect.
Now try it.
Nope.
All right. Oh, there you
Okay. Good.
There it goes.
All right, with that. Is there a way to hide that top ribbon? Maybe not. So just kind of give a little history of Streetscape. So it's been separated into 3 phases. The first phase being complete in 2019 was pretty much just the downtown corridor. We did a lot of road, brick, sidewalk improvements there. And then on the west side of that improvement, we did more of what we considered Streetscape light, which include a little more green space, some landscaping, trees. And that kind of design idea is what we pushed forward to on the second phase, which was the eastern part of the Streetscape project, and kind of what we're going to be doing also here with this northern phase 3. So a little more of the green landscape, trying to break up the downtown with a more residential, trying to transition those two. So getting right into kind of the southern portion of this phase. So to orientate everybody, we're at the intersection on the left side is Church and Bridge, with the First Christian Church down at the bottom. And so we're going to continue to do some of those same design elements, including new curb and gutter, sidewalk improvements, the brick accents with the decorative lighting, a full mill and overlay. So it'll be a brand new road with new pavement markings. And then along with that, we're working with utilities like we did in the first phase. There's some overhead power lines. So getting AT&T and Evergy aware of this project and working with them to potentially get that underground, at least in this segment here, to kind of clean up this area where this beautification project. Another feature that we're going to enhance is the storm sewers. As you can see there, it's kind of the grade inlets, and they're more prone to clogging. So we're going to upgrade those to the new modern open throat curb inlets that we can see on the side there. One other thing I'll touch on this one is so on the top right portion of the screen, there's a little jut out of the sidewalk where we're going to put this educational opportunity, which will be kind of a description of the Little Platte River watershed. That was part of the MoDOT funding requirements for this project. I'll touch on the funding a little bit later, but so we were able to, we're going to incorporate that into a benched area with some shading over there and like a educational kiosk or plaque, if you will. Moving on to the bridge, just to the north, we had some opportunity for some enhancements here. Maybe, so we're changing out the railing, adding some lights to this. I'll cover this in a couple more slides, a little bit more, but we were trying to kind of mimic the Wilkinson Creek Bridge, which is just to the east here of downtown on Main Street that MoDOT did when they were transitioning back to the city. So that's kind of the aspects that we're using. The other thing I'll mention on here with some of these enhancements, we are planning on having the bridge closed for part of the construction. So we will have a detour route around this area for these enhancements, and then some of the utilities and road improvements that will be required for this project. Moving on to the north, a lot of the same improvements. In this area, some of the utilities are a little aged. So we're working with the city to upgrade the water lines underneath the streetscape and improve the sewers, just so there's not any maintenance issues here in the near future that would cause us to, rip up this new streetscape that we just put in. So, and then Gina kind of mentioned it a little bit. Gina and Chuck have been great contacting all the adjacent property owners, all the local stakeholders there, getting their input, letting them know about the project and meeting with them one-on-one. Another thing that we're doing is making these sidewalks ADA compliant with the ramps and just making sure that they're wheelchair accessible. And then, yeah, so the main unique element of this project would be the bridge. And, you know, as you can see, it's kind of got the older looking chain link fence. And then the barrier, the concrete barrier that you can see there is kind of used as a balancing beam by some people walking. So there's some opportunity for some safety and some beautification enhancements here. So this was kind of our conceptual plan that we're plan on implementing here. So updating to a more modern fence and then adding a handrail to the barrier to kind of keep people off of that into, you know, going into traffic. We're also proposing to add some decorative columns that'll really enhance the look of this bridge. And then, like I said previously, we'll be adding lights to the mid spans, just like we have currently in this downtown area. So on to schedule. So this did get MoDOT funding, and Chuck and Gina did a great job finding this opportunity. It's a TAP funding, federal funds that, you know, is going to pay for a good portion of this project. The one thing is we will be dictated by their schedule and some of their requirements, but overall the cost savings is great for the city here. But so after this meeting, we'll be submitting plans and specs that kind of follow their requirements. NEPA is environmental clearances, and then we'll also do Buy America, which, you know, we'll have all steel and other construction materials will come from the US and other federal requirements. And then we'll submit plans and specs to February for MoDOT's review. And then per their schedule, they'd like to have a bid letting or advertisement for bid in May, and construction starting in July of 2023, and then anticipated end of construction in December of 2023. And then, yeah, the other main item is, costs and funding. So we're looking right now at a cost just under $1 million. And the funding being, as you can see there, $488,000, which we're getting from this grant. So it brings out the total cost of $472,000 for what would be necessary from the city's perspective. And then we'll just say, you know, everybody knows costs right now. They're fluctuating. Everything's more expensive. So we are going to continue to track this, and if there's any changes, we'll keep the city updated. But right now, this is what the costs are looking like right now. With that, again, I'd just like to say thank you for this opportunity of this project. We really love working with the city. They're, I think, my best client. I love working with Smithville. So with that, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, just let me know.
I got a small question.
Sure.
Just north of the bridge on Bridge Street on your route there, it looks like there's two little parking areas. Is that by the request of the owner?
Yep. So
It look a little strange.
yep, I'll try to show you here.
Tom's house, he doesn't have a driveway.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I didn't see a driveway.
there's one, there's one house on that block that doesn't have a driveway. So, yep, that's what that's for.
His house was built in 1880, doesn't have a driveway. Yeah. Don's is the one to the north of it. Horse park. Yeah, he's got gravel to park in right now, so he'll be pretty happy with the asphalt.
So the price on the proposed cost, when was that effective? When did you get the estimate, the cost estimate?
We just did this process.
Okay, so it's now, right?
Okay, so, yep.
Frank, does that fence work for you?
We don't have any parking. I need that parking on our side too.
I don't know that there's.
So we, Yeah.
West side.
Okay, so, and, yeah, we can add parking there. You can see we have, it's kind of split between two images here, but there is space right there to add. Do you know, what's that?
I
How
know
many
like
spots?
2 or 3. Sometimes we have boats come in and they can't. They need to park parallel.
Okay. Yep,
Mhm. So go to the south side across from the Christian church. So is that what the parking lot's there for, Chuck?
Spots for us and the park complex across the street, share, that'll be full with them. And have 2 cars that work. Possibility of having parking on the side.
So one of the things we were trying to do is make the road a little bit narrower. You know, because for pedestrians, and we have talked to the gentleman that owns the apartments, and he's fine with the parking. You know, they'll stay over on their half, and then he's got some parking behind. Right now, there is probably a couple gravelled areas on the other side. You know, trying to keep the theme, trying to keep some space between the sidewalk and parking areas and or curbs, trying to slow the traffic by bringing it in, not having such a wide open space all the time. I mean, that's exactly what was done in the downtown. Those are the reasons why. If we were, the parking's not gonna be cheap. If we were to put parking on the street, then we probably eliminate the parking area in the back. We just felt that was a reasonable accommodation. Is what we were looking at. I don't know if you have any additional thoughts.
yeah.
But the one at the apartment is.
The apartment.
Property.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We have a business right next.
Right, yeah, we have not had a chance to talk to you. We couldn't get hold of it.
What's her father?
So we don't have land for the parking lot?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Sent letters
Have a
and
lamp?
emails and tried to get in
That's
contact.
Travis's.
Well, all the improvements are being done in the right of way, with the exception of that parking area. The parking area, we would need an easement to get on the property to build.
So in the event that we do. If we don't get parking lot, we get spaces on the road.
That would be up for the board to decide.
Would it be beneficial just to move the parking lot? I don't know if it, I'm just asking if to move those parking spaces on the other side, just flip it around, Chuck? Yeah, instead of in front of the church on the other side of the street.
The church,
So the church is on the bottom of the screen.
right,
So putting it in front of the.
So, yeah, move the parking that's in front of it, move it to the other side of the street, the other side of Bridge Street. So then it would be the west side of Bridge Street.
So, right now, if you can, on the north side of the west side of the road, on the top side of the screen. There is, so the apartments, you can see that faint line that kind of zigzags up and across. That's the actual right of way line. And the apartments are encroaching. So we don't really have space to add that landscape area and the street lights on the west side of the road just because of that encroachment there. So the only way to really, get that streetscape feel of that, was to kind of eliminate those parking lots now. There is also on the, if the top of the page wasn't cut off, there is an alley that goes back to some additional city lot back there as well. Along with parking on Church. But I know that's not ideal to this property owner right here, but there is a lot of parking in that area, but unfortunately, if we want to have like a green space here, it's the parking lot. The parking on the west side was taken.
Their way, the parking lot further back. Out of the parking. Towards like the narrow. There's an alley there.
So you can, there we go. So at the top side of that parking lot is where your fence would be.
It's hard to do stormwater if you skinny that.
So we're kind of limited by that unless you want to bring your fence in as well.
I feel like street parking. I feel like
Yeah,
Street
and
parking.
basically
kinda
gave
slowed
more
down
easement
traffic
for
down.
parking. Yes, essentially, there could be some more parking added.
Yeah, I'd rather have parking on both sides.
Hmm?
I'd rather see
Uh,
parking on both sides.
Most likely, yes, we would, if the city would
This-
choose
this
to
house
extend the
would be
parking
pushed right
lot, they would
away.
also
Yeah,
be
so
replacing that
And parking.
fence.
Look at where the house
But I
is.
really
Yeah,
can't
green space then.
I mean, the green space is not-
speak
it's right as
directly,
parking.
but that's,
It's only some
yeah.
part.
that's not a city parking lot.
Then you have no place to put lights. You're looking at the lights all the time.
So this would be, yeah,
Get 'em
that is a
there,
good
like,
question.
I mean,
It
here,
would either
maybe,
just be a
you
temporary
could do two
easement
parking
and then the
in front of
parking
the
lot
house,
would
that's it.
then be owned by the property owner would be most likely what it would end up being, or it, you could add to that alley and it could be city property, but yeah.
That's all facing the middle of the city property.
Yep, this is an alley, city property
Okay.
that goes to a gravel parking area in the back.
So can you not park it all the way up to, so on the east side, up to the bump out between the light, where that light is, go up. Sorry, west side. Yeah, could we not fit a couple parking spots between there? And still maintain the
thinking
sidewalk
too.
and things? I don't know. Cause you don't have easement by the apartments, I
Yeah.
get it, but
Making,
in front of that property itself, you have a good right of way there.
yeah.
Cause I mean, a lot of people go park across the street too, cause the church is not gonna have full parking during the week, but. You got like 10 spots on the other side of the street.
Yeah, that's that is a potential.
I mean, it'd make the sidewalk shifted a little bit, right? But if you
Yeah.
shift it towards yeah, we can't do anything in front of the apartments
Yeah, it would,
unless Travis loses the front half of his apartments.
They try to set
yep. Yeah, I think, yeah, that this is an option here. My only initial concern, I guess, is just pushing now the light and the sidewalk back. If there is room, but it appears that would work there. Yep.
By the scale of this, it looks like it's possible.
Yeah.
So we prefer to have the on-street parking. And. Really just take away the parking.
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess I'll probably look at, have my electrical engineers. It's nicer to see these lights probably right in a row instead of being bumped out.
Yeah, if you put one at the beginning of parking and a parking and mirrored on the other side, you just add
Yeah.
another light.
Yep.
You gotta get the coverage we need. Keep it still in line.
Yeah.
Just shift one to the north and put one towards the south.
Equivalent for the apartment.
He's already got one there.
Through the top of it.
Yeah, yeah, big old spotlight, Batman. Cause that would give you lighting on either side of the church's stairs too. Cause they got that big wide staircase right there, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that would look symmetrical still.
Yep.
Anything else? Getting rid of Frank's prison fence, that was goal number one, right?
The bridge, the bridge.
That's what he calls it, is prison fence.
That's exactly like that.
Storm sewer at First Street is a big one I get complaints about all the time, so I'm glad that's gone.
Yep,
Did you hit that one?
I was hoping, I submitted these slides.
You can hit dismiss on
Tuesday.
those other ones.
Okay. And I was kicking myself because I really thought, having a picture of that storm sewer might really
With the
ring with
6-inch
some
drop.
people saying that's gonna go away,
Yeah.
but I
So Chuck, are we gonna have to make changes to this if we get, because we got awarded the other grant, right? Are we gonna make those changes before we put this out to bid? For the roundabout? Are we gonna make changes to this intersection here to fit the roundabout
Yes,
before we put this out to bid?
no. We won't be building that roundabout till 26.
I know, but do we need to build all the way to past First Street on the, west side?
We can cut it back, but
because we're just gonna tear it out in a couple of years if we do, right?
tearing it out.
Yeah, so can we back that up some to see kind of where we're not just gonna be building and tearing out? I get it, storm drain probably needs to be there, but
Yeah, we gotta get to that storm drain. I mean, talking overlaying and really just a little bit of sidewalk.
as long as the light the light looks like it's gonna be sitting right where the roundabout might end up too.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. We
Okay,
haven't gotten that official word yet.
I know, but
It's-
I also will just add that I know MoDOT, one of their main criteria is ADA
yeah,
compliance and.
but there's no sidewalk on that side.
And that crosswalk there.
Crosswalk's fine. I'm talking about the west side of the road.
Okay.
Because they might, the developer might want to chat with you too on doing something there too with the entrance, so
We tried, but my understanding is sold and some plans have changed, so.
across the street. Set up a meeting. He knows the folks. All right.
Okay.
Good. Anything else for Mitch?
Thank you very much for your time and feedback.
Thank
We'll redesign and bring it back to the city. So, thank you.
2 minutes to spare. We don't have adjournment on this one, so do we need to adjourn? I think so. If anybody needs to use the facilities,